Hey guys, today I'm going to make a video on one of the many conferences I use in my trading, and this is an SMT. This stands for a smart money technique. What does it exactly mean? An SMT in trading is when two markets that usually move together don't match. What do I mean by this? An example would be NQ makes a high and ES doesn't. These are correlated markets. That mismatch can be a warning that the move is fake and a reversal might happen. Let me draw you guys an example and show you. Let's say the market is going... Let's say this is NQ, for example. And then this is ES. Okay, so as you can see, this high has been taken by NQ. And on ES, this high has not been taken, right? This would be an example of a bearish SMT. This then on ES becomes a protected high. Why do I incorporate this in my trading? It's because when I'm in the middle of a trade, I know that once we have SMTs, it can indicate a reversal. And sometimes I keep my stop at the protected high. Once we make an SMT, the high becomes protected or low. Let me show you guys what a bullish SMT would look like. This would be NQ again. This would be ES. As you can see, NQ took this low and ES didn't. AK, this would be the protected low. So my stop loss could be right here. Because an SMT is basically telling you what's going to happen in the future, if that makes sense. So if you see one pair sweep a liquidity and the other didn't, it's a sign that we can take off. We can reverse. Because if one started moving in one direction already and the other didn't, it's kind of like you're foreseeing the future, if that makes sense. Let me show you guys some actual examples now. And in case you guys haven't understood it already, an SMT is basically a pair sweeping a high or low while the other pair doesn't, and the higher low being protected. And these are used to indicate reversals. One thing about SMTs is that they need to match within the same time frame. So you can't just draw any high to any low. It needs to match the same exact time. Let me show you guys some examples. You guys don't need to use this indicator, but it does help. Sometimes you can't spot all the SMTs with the naked eye. This indicator doesn't make all of them pop up, but it's nice to have. You should definitely train your eyes to see these, you know? Here's an SMT right here. I'm gonna literally circle it as the indicator pops it up. 12:30 p.m. to 2:05 p.m., right? Let's look at it over here. 12:30 p.m. to 2:05 p.m. As you can see, we made a higher low, right? And if we go here on 12:30, right, and we draw it, you can see that the market takes after making the SMT, 200 points. This would be the protected high. Let me show you another example. As you can see here, there's an SMT, okay? We took out this high on NQ, right? But on ES, we didn't. And as you can see, it is right here. We made a higher high on NQ, and on ES, we made a lower high. What does this indicate to us? The market is going to dump. And once you see that SMT, you can put your stop loss at the high, and you can catch how many points? You can catch over 200 points. You shouldn't purely use an SMT, but if you combine an SMT with your model, it'll be super beneficial. And using SMTs at the right time, there's certain times in the market where certain moves begin, and if you are able to time an SMT at the correct time, you can catch a massive move. And an SMT is also a good way to move your stop and profit. If there is a higher low that swept on one pair and didn't sweep on the other pair, you can still use it to, move your stop loss and profit. SMTs are super powerful. I don't know why a lot of people don't use them. I'm going to show you guys another example. Okay, so over here on NQ, we took out this low, right? Correct? On ES, we didn't. This is a bullish SMT, right? Look at how much the market moves. If you kept your stop right here, we moved around 150 points on NQ. And that just shows you how powerful SMTs can be. I'm gonna show you guys one more example, okay? I'm telling you guys, SMTs are super powerful. You need to be incorporating them in your trading. Here's another one. This low never got swept on NQ, right? But on ES it did. This is another example of a bullish SMT. You don't need an indicator for it, but it helps. Just look at this. The market literally ran after this SMT. It just ran over 600 points. Like I said, you don't ever want to strictly trade off SMTs, but they're really good to incorporate in your trading. When one pair sweeps the liquidity and another one doesn't, you can kind of predict the future. It's showing you what the market is doing with another pair, and since they're correlated assets, they will move similarly. That'll be all for SMTs. And like I said, an SMT, if you didn't get it in this video, it's basically one pair sweeps a high or low and the other pair doesn't, and it predicts the future, indicating a reversal. There's bullish SMTs and there's bearish SMTs. You want to use correlated pairs. For example, NQ and ES, gold and silver, Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm a futures day trader, so I just use NQ and ES for SMTs. So, it's however you want to use it. SMTs are super important, and like I said, don't make it your main thing. You want to use SMTs as an added confluence. If you guys want more trading videos like this, more educational content, make sure to like and subscribe. Leave some recommendations on what type of videos I can make. Like I said, this is just a small part, very, very small part of how I trade. And thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day.